Okay. I wanted to talk about midlife crisis, but then Juwita today said we should talk about midlife checkpoint. No crisis, just checking. You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
Okay, I think that midlife crisis also really different lah. Your midlife and my midlife different ma. So okay, let's do a checkpoint. Actually, what I really did was, there's this thing on the internet that has maybe like 30 questions to answer when you're going through a midlife crisis.
Okay.
Okay, but I decided to pick the 5 interesting one and call it the midlife checkpoint lah.
Okay.
So that we can, sometimes we are too busy hustling in this hustle world that we should pause a while and reflect and think. And today's episode is the reflection kind of thinking thing.
I feel more peaceful already
So
now.
even as you listen to the question and we are answering, maybe you want to write it down and answer it yourself. That kind of mood that we're going for. Wow. We'll tell our audience what mood was so that they know how to make their own coffee as well.
Yes.
Okay, question number 1, which is quite a common question as well, but most of us might not actually think about it so much because it's like, too common lah to dwell on. It's actually what makes us happy.
Wow.
So like what kind of thing that makes us feel alive? What makes me happy is what is important to me. So my next question would be, what's important to me?
Okay.
So yeah, what makes you happy?
Actually, at first thought, what makes me happy right now? I think I would be happy if I was like open space, out in nature. Yeah, see, I think about it, I'm already happy. But if you think about the deeper one, I think you need to think a bit more. What about you?
For me, I think it has been a crazy month. Like, right? I've been working non-stop with so many things and the whole production is coming on and stuff like that. For me, dealing with 118 people in the production, I can't say that I'm not happy.
Okay.
There is the ups and the downs. For example, I feel like, why are you guys not doing certain things?
Okay.
Why are we lagging at this? Why are we having this trouble? Why are we, having so many hurdles and why are things not moving? Why? I'm not upset with people, but I'm upset with the ethics.
Okay.
Or I'm upset with the performance. Or I'm disappointed, more like it.
All right.
But at the end of the day, when I leave my room to go and run this production, check the lights, check the sound, check the what, and how people are late, how people are not QCing their own stuff, and I have to QC everything, and I come back to my room, I find that what really makes me happy is when along the whole process, someone learns something.
Okay.
So despite the whole situation sounds like, it's a lot of work, it's very busy and everything, but then if my sound guy learned that, I just press this button, actually solve the problem. And to him, it's the discovery of the lifetime. Or this singer that I say, stop singing using your throat. Can you sing, go up your nasal or something? And I say, I don't know, Juwita put a hand in front of that sing. Try to sing to your hand. And then I say, remember that feeling. And him at the end of the day coming to me, I say, hey, I find that I can sing better when I do that. For me, right, all the other things that the 10 to 12 hours that I work is worth it. And for me, that is what I find that if I have to live like the rest of my life to be busy, hustling or whatever, this is the one thing that I want in my everyday life.
Wow.
Seeing that someone learn something and grow, or someone have something to bring home when they encounter me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you gave me a chance to think deeper, right? So I always need somebody to start and then I can go deeper, right?
But I thought you are the overthinker.
Yeah. So I am happy when I am creating something. I think I discovered that when I'm writing a song or when I'm creating something, I've written a piece, whether it's a written piece or whatever, I feel very happy after that. Like, yes, I created something,
Producing process.
I suppose, not necessarily the producing process, but the creative part of that process. But in the past couple of months, I discovered that I think sometimes I've been feeling a bit low because I've been doing a lot of back-end stuff, and then at the back of my head I'm thinking, I should outsource this. Why am I doing this,
Correct.
But at the same
back-end stuff, not creative. Just now you say creative make you happy.
Correct. So when I'm doing the back-end stuff, which is like proofreading lah, editing lah, whatever. And then at one point, I was somewhere and somebody quoted a piece of something that I didn't write, but I was involved in getting it out there. So I was involved in the publication of it, of this thing. And somebody quoted something from one of those days. It's like a reading thing. And she was quoting it to like a big audience.
Okay.
And suddenly I thought, hey, I felt like, wow, okay, this is worth it after all. Although sometimes I think, it's just this one publication, like people are gonna read it once a day, and then how often do you read things, right? You read one time and then. But the fact that she picked something out of that and shared it to a bigger audience, it must have meant something to her. So I think that is, for me, it's that connecting lah. Whether it's something that was written that you help to bring to another audience that they connected with, or sometimes it's even just connecting somebody to a bigger opportunity, like discovering a new talent or something like that. And then you see them going further than you could have brought them.
Correct.
Yeah. Then I look back and I'm like, okay lah, berbaloi lah, all those hours.
I think it's almost, correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like listening to you and listening to myself just now. Finding meaning in what we do is what makes us happy.
I think so. That it meant something. What you did meant something to at least one person.
Correct. And we're not talking about changing the whole world. It's just there's that one person, And I think that if you're out there asking yourself what makes you happy, and you find that besides my favorite food or something like that, something deeper, right? And if you think that you cannot find that something, maybe ask yourself, what's the meaning? What meaning are you looking for in life lah? That might be your key answer to what makes you happy lor. I would think that. Okay, shall we move to the second question? You read lah.
Second question is, what boundaries do I need to rethink in life? Wow. What am I tolerating that I should stop tolerating?
That's a good question. For me, right, when we are busy hustling, we sometimes forget to sit down and think about actually what we are compromising a little too much. That's why this whole question about what kind of boundaries that I have or don't have and actually need in life.
Okay.
So for me, like my recent one would be, I feel that sometimes because I'm very easygoing, I'm not very calculative in certain ways, which makes it very easy for people to take for granted and cross that line. Or they literally assume that it's okay lah. So for me, looking back, like I think I was a bit unhappy the last 2 weeks in the sense that I find that my project partners and all are really taking me for granted in a way that I find that I don't mind doing it lah, but then a little bit of appreciation or a little bit of like, hey, do you need help would really runs a lot. So, and because that project is like a 6-month thing that we've been going on, I find that, at the back of my mind, I don't mind doing it, but I have this feeling like, hey, I am being taken for granted, or I feel like it's on my shoulder. I feel a bit unappreciated. Okay. So I find that this can happen to me quite easily because of how easygoing I am. Okay. Or how easygoing and how smooth I am. It could be, for example, right, I'm at my project partner's site. Okay, they're supposed to take care of me 3 meals a day. And then, the first few times I go every day, 3 meals a day. Yeah. Come to the second week, no need lah, she don't need eat, never mind lah. So for me, okay lah, I don't expect you to feed me 3 meals a day, but then at least tell me, hey, I cannot do lunch, find your own lunch. Don't tell one. Then I need to go and text, hello, are we having lunch? Not that I want to have lunch with you, but I just need to know the plan. Yeah. So eventually I find that, no meals lah, it's just no sound. So I settle my own. So for me, because part of the working deal was settling the meals. Okay. So I felt that, yes, I can be nice enough to let you have meals with other people, but tell me about it lah, I can plan. Or reach a point to don't tell. Or there was one point, it was when I really felt it was one night he called. Tonight we dinner, like now it's 6 p.m. Gina, we dinner lah, 6:30. Tomorrow you going back to KL, right? Then I feel like, what nonsense is that? Right. And those are times I realize it comes from me being easygoing from the beginning. Then people just step. So what are the boundaries that I might want to set moving forward? It's like, hey, I'm easygoing, but can you respect my boundaries? Yeah. Ask me for permission or something. Say, hey, this one, can you help? I can. Or don't just say, this one nobody do. You do lah. Just because I can do, don't pile it on me, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a very classic example. So I find that it happens in quite a lot of projects. And it all has to do with my easygoing. And let's say even family. Right. Like my mom will say, so you're around, right? Then you just do this lah. This I don't mind doing, but again, it's the whole if I keep doing it, right, then I get stepped on and it's become on my plate. But in the first place, it's not on my plate, man. So I need to draw some boundaries to say, I don't mind doing it, but you must remember, it's not on my plate in the beginning. So for example, if you're supposed to do grocery on your own, then once a blue moon, you say, hey, come, we go do grocery together. You cannot expect the next few weeks to be every week, let's grocery together. So I find that I need to be very upfront about saying, okay, let's do grocery this week together, fine. But next week always cannot already. I got work or something like that. The fact that I need to spell it out is something that I find that, some people do not understand boundaries. Yeah. A bit more of not very clear-cut boundaries I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about mine.
You don't have boundaries, I better set some there.
I think right now, I consider myself quite easygoing also. Like, if I can help, then I would help. But I think in terms of boundaries now, it's more like, if you ask me to do something last minute, I will probably not commit to it. I won't say no. So for example, we had this workshop. Then I got a text a month after asking for a write-up or an article for a magazine that was, related to that workshop lah. And I was like, it's Chinese New Year now, right? I cannot promise you, but I'll just ask the people involved. And I'm not going to write it. Because, and for me, that's a boundary. I can write it, but...
Why should I? Or if you ask properly, maybe.
It's, and it's like, Chinese New Year time, it's like, if you had told me earlier, I could have planned it. But you afterthought, right? Now you need content for your thing and therefore you're asking, can you write? Of course, it's nice that they wanted to feature us as well. So what I did was I just told the organizers, like, hey, so we've got a request for this. Would any of you be interested? Because maybe they want to feature their thing in the magazine. And then somebody straight up said, no. Which was like, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I kind of like people like that. They know their total boundary. They don't feel like they need to oblige to a certain things.
Yeah. And then I think after that, I was kind of forgot about that. And then after that, just on the deadline, somebody sent the thing. I was like, but I don't know whether it's too late or not, whether it's on the deadline.
Because the person never said he's doing.
Yeah. Then apparently when I got back to the person who asked in the beginning, they had communicated. So because I did say I'll ask so and so if they're interested. So they must have gone through. And so the article just came out yesterday. I saw it. I'm like, okay lah, simple one with photos and just a short write-up. But I think for me, it's more of, that is the boundary for me lah. I think at some earlier point in my life, I would have just either sat down, hunkered down to write it, or went all out to find somebody. But I think for me, it's like, you last minute is your monkey. I have no issues with this not appearing. It's not a cause that I need to push and put my word out for it. But if it happens, it happens.
Correct. So I think on a more personal basis, boundaries can also be simple stuff. Like what I'm trying to do now is the first morning boundaries, that I don't touch my phone until 9 to 10 o'clock.
Oh.
So, those are intentional boundaries to preserve my own mental space. Yeah. So what I try to explain to the audience or the listener here is, it doesn't have to be something big like what we just share, work boundary, whatever.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as, hey, I just don't want to touch my phone until 10 a.m. That's my boundary space. Maybe I will tell my family and friends so that they don't call me and ask me what happened to you 9 p.m. last seen 9 a.m. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And set that kind of personal boundaries that help us to preserve our mental space and energy is very important.
I think it also could be in terms of appointments. Sometimes people want to meet up with you, and actually I have no issue meeting up with you. It's just that I don't want to drag myself out of the house and stuff like that.
At the peak hours.
At the peak hour or whatever.
Correct.
And I think I'm beginning to really look at the calendar and say, I'm actually not available until April, but we could fix a date for then. And for me, that's also a boundary. Not trying to just put everything in when it's not.
So having that boundary, your space and respecting each other's space.
Yeah. And I think people actually respect you more for that.
Correct. Instead of being so available all the time.
Yeah, somehow.
Okay, third question we do after the break.
Okay. Today's episode is in support of the YWCA KL's brand new initiative called the YWCA Community Oasis. If you would like to be involved in greening up a space right in the middle of downtown KL, reach out to us on social media, YWCA KL.
Just said, I would like to green the place too.
Yes. Question number 3. Are we constantly growing and learning in life? How do we keep evolving?
I can be very, very honest with you. The last 2 years, to be constantly learning is a pain in the ass. Last time it's not so intentional, as in it's not so dense, not so deep and concentrated. You just go on with life, then you learn, oh, I can write this one like this, ABC way. Yes, put it on. Now it's like the world changed so fast, the AI changed so fast, the social media. You don't have time to like learn. You need to like purposely learn in your everyday life and not eventually just learning as you go. Like, okay, I'm bored of this, so I should up my game. This one, you are forced to up your game before you are even bored.
And I find the trend is changing.
Correct. It's just way too fast. So for me, right, learning now is happening whether you like it or not. It's not like last time. You can stagnate and still survive, or you can grow and thrive. All right?
Yeah.
Now it's like you stop only, your learning progress, the next one is very high jump. So it creates this very, for me, fatigue lah. And I'm at this place where I tell myself, to be honest, I look at AI, everything. And initially I said, okay, let's catch up lah. It's part of my industry, right? Go and find out. But I think it lasted 3 months. After that, I said, okay, you all can go ahead. I will just hire the expert lah. You know what, AI video, whatever, it's okay. I can understand that this exists. There's something like this. I understand the surface. I don't learn. And then I just go, you all go do. I will hire expert for it. So if you ask me now whether I'm constantly growing and learning, I think my learning is slowing down because the world is too fast for me.
Okay. I think it's a seasonal thing. Like I mentioned in an earlier episode, I was in one season like, whoa, Coursera, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn this. I actually stick through the entire
How many courses did you take?
4, maybe.
Not bad.
I did one on songwriting. I did one on lyric writing. I did one on... I tried doing one on poetry. I couldn't finish. I did one on organizational something or other. So I mean, things that would be interesting. I would actually stick through the course. And it was fun, you know. But I think I was in that season when I was in a growing learning stage. Now, I mean, the second part of the question is evolving, right? I am trying to see how I need to do life differently in this second half of my life,
Mid-life checkpoint.
Like, I think in a lot of ways, because I remember I was talking to Helen Reid. She get shout out mentioned. Just randomly, we were at some event together and then we were talking about doing new things and new ideas. And then I said, hey, she said, sometimes you need to try new things. Then I said, but growing new things also comes with a lot of back-end things. Like I was just saying back-end, right, that you might not enjoy. And then she's like, just outsource those things lah. And in that moment, it was like light bulb. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have told me that. But when she said that, it was just somehow, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, and it is something that I've been thinking about. The other day also, we were talking about business. And then you was like, actually, it's quite easy to grow a business. You just need to hire the right people. Correct. And I'm like, I've never been in the frame of mind that about hiring or outsourcing somehow. Unless it's like you play guitar lah. That's the biggest outsource for me because I cannot play but it all works like that as well. So I think I'm at this stage, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I do this differently? How can I be more efficient and more effective in what I do so that I'll be happy also lah.
Correct. So like my slow learning now is, for example, every production, because I work with different people, I learn something new. But it's not I don't intentionally go and learn something new.
Right.
And for me, that learning is enough.
It's more fun, isn't it? It's like, current.
Yeah. So I don't feel stuck in my life that I need to go and jump into, let's do AI music writing yet. Okay? Because I'm still enjoying my music writing process.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of things. But to have that constant learning is a part of how you don't lose your drive in life lah. I think some of us, it's just... And I would say some of us is just craving to just have that stagnant.
Okay.
I'm only saying that like some of my
younger
cousins, when they first started job, Gina, We just want to go to work, come back, eat, sleep, play game. Tomorrow repeat.
I a long time never play.
Yeah, then after that weekend come. I say, what you all do weekend rest ah? Oh, eat, sleep, play game, eat, sleep, play game, don't repeat. I said, you're becoming like a corporate mouse. She said, no, maybe for the next 6 months it's going to be like that.
Okay.
As they adjust to the whole working space, the working environment, the working rhythm.
It's called acclimatization also lah.
Then after that she said, no lah, maybe after that we might feel bored and learn something else.
Yeah lah.
So
I mean, as long as you don't get stuck in that rut for
Correct.
a very long time.
Same thing I told them.
Stable also lah.
Correct.
Okay lah.
So you must be intentional to learn something as you go along. It doesn't have to be a drastic learning. It can be a subtle learning.
Yeah.
And that is part of
Don't get stuck
growing.
in the time bubble lah.
Correct.
Okay, question 4, right? Do we feel like we are making a difference in life? Oh, what's our purpose? We kind of touched on that.
I think we
just
kind of
now.
touched on that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think the biggest difference that Juwita is trying to make in everybody's life in KL
What?
is this park idea that she have in downtown KL.
Oh, yeah.
That is totally out of
My comfort zone.
I think we can talk a little bit about that lah. Because this Juwita do music stuff, right? Then one day she have this idea about, let's do a green pocket in downtown. Because why one day she's driving, then got raining, then she scared her car stuck in the rain. Then she was thinking like the whole ecosystem of it. And then I think what I really admire about it is how a person who is not in a certain industry can think about climate change and want to do something about it. And sometimes this is like, when you live your life and then you come to this midlife like 30, 40, 50, right? And things start to go a bit mundane, right? Then you need one of these to shake you up. There. Perfect example of how we can make a difference very, very directly.
I don't know if it's about getting bored and trying to shake it up.
She was obviously not bored. She was just concerned about her car in the rain.
Yeah. I think I've always kind of wanted to do something for conservation, but somehow it's like I didn't feel it was necessarily a monetary thing to, a lot of people subscribe to a certain wildlife thing, and I didn't feel like that was something that would be meaningful to me, because I have other purposes that the money I need to use for lah, in a sense. Not saying that if you're contributing, please continue, Somehow I just felt like I had this connection to this piece of land and I could do something about it, and hey, if we can do something that will outlive us, then why not lah? But I think the scary thing is I didn't, like you say, like, it's so totally out of the comfort zone, right? It's like madness lah, like, siao or what, want to do this?
I think it brought up a very interesting point in between what you're sharing. There's two types of making a difference.
Okay.
One is I just sit down and give you money. I know that my money is making a difference. Contributions, all right?
Yeah.
There's another one is like, giving money is something that I don't have, or I give so much I don't feel the meaning anymore. Then you go out and actually do something.
Yeah.
To make that difference.
Yeah.
Either way, in one point of life, it's good to make a difference in one way or another lah.
Yeah. So it's like after 1 year, 2 years, we've been trying to figure this out, and now we are starting to see maybe the project gets started. Not maybe lah. It's getting started.
The vision.
It's starting to bear fruit. It's starting to start, the planting and the seeding and all that. And I suppose making a difference in like, turning a concrete space into a green area that people can come and hang out.
Correct.
With.
But it's also an important lesson to know that making a difference is not an immediate thing where you can press one button and then you can see the difference. Making a difference can be a long journey as well. In fact, I think most making of difference is long journey. From telling people to stop smoking, drink lesser, don't drink and drive. It's all a long-term campaign.
That's true, isn't it?
It's never a one-day campaign.
I think, okay lah, so sometimes, right, when I think about making a difference lah, you think about successful people in life, right? You always see them at the climax of the journey. You see them at I won't say the end lah, because it's the climax of that journey. And like, somebody makes such a difference. Everybody know about this.
She probably asked the person, how long did you take to reach here?
Correct. I mean, everybody knows the KFC story about how many recipes he made before.
Correct.
Before it became KFC, right?
And business is even easier than the difference. You start a business, you got follow steps one. And it's money making ma. So for me,
Right.
I won't use that as an example.
Okay.
I will use something like that is more social driven one.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
business can be calculated. Social
That's
is
true.
like today I feel like volunteering. Today I don't feel like volunteering.
That's true.
Everything upside down. You know?
Yeah.
So making the difference is something that I find takes a lot of perseverance.
Perseverance. That's encouraging.
Yeah. So I think if you're asking yourself whether you're making a difference in life, it's also important to look way back and not just this year what kind of difference, right?
Yeah.
Way back. So even like Juita mentioned, right? Sometimes you teach a kid how to sing. 20 years later, you see them singing on the stage.
Yeah.
That is the kind of difference that you are looking at. You know, making every day small impact that you can only see the result of the difference much, much later.
Yeah. And I think it's important, and I'm telling myself this, right? To take stock of those, well, the world will see it as small things lah, right? Like, oh, you taught one kid, or you gave one person a small break that led to something else. But if you actually count all that, right, it's very... I use the word encouraging lah for myself. Some people out there don't understand the word encouraging. But if you know what it means, it's like, wow, when you think about all that and you feel like, wow, yeah, I can continue doing what I'm doing, even though in the eyes of the world, it's not like, wow, so-and-so already built some conglomerate, or wow, set up some big academy, or wow, whatever lah, huh? But it's, to you, if you count all those small wins lah, I think it's making
part
a
of
difference.
making a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a last question. Maybe a fun one lah. Huh?
Okay.
You can see her going, Gina frying my brain in this episode. Okay, the next question is, I think maybe not taking it too deep of a scape, more of an everyday kind of thing. Okay. What kind of habits, patterns, or belief that you think is dragging you down in life?
Wow, actually it's not deep. Hello.
Okay, I say start with a very, very simple one. Like really think about your everyday, for example. Okay, I'm just
Morning
going, after
to
she
night.
said I hit her.
Okay.
For example, your habit, like for example, be early is on time, on time is late.
Okay.
So maybe can try to be early and not even on time only leh. You know, that kind of habits lah.
Okay.
So for example, for me, my habit is like, the one that's not dragging me down is I always believe 15 minutes earlier before on time is on time.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you think we can improve in life?
Okay, so if I'm relating that to life and to the whole, what's the word, outlook in life, then it's not trying to do too many things at the same time. So I don't know whether I mentioned this before on air, but there was this article that I read that says the reason people are chronically late is because they are over optimistic.
Okay.
Okay, which means I think I can do all these things. Like I've got 10 minutes. I can do this first before the 10 minutes is up, right? You're going to be optimistic about the traffic situation. You're going to be optimistic about the parking, everything lah, you know. Which also means you kind of think that, wow, I can do a lot of things at the same time.
Okay.
Kind of multitasking, but not. So I think for me right now, it's like trying not to do too many things at the same time, or trying to do less in a day. You know, sometimes it's on my to-do list, like one whole page cannot fit the screen on my, I have to scroll, you know. But if I can make it down to 4 main things, important things, like they say urgent and important, then you do. The rest you try like, okay, or really the important stuff. I think that would help me. And it would be related to that also lah, because I don't have to, oh my gosh, I got to export this before I meet her. Then it's like, you know, there's only a limited amount of time that you have in a day, right?
Yeah. So for me, like one of the habits that I'm trying to cut off is to don't say yes.
Okay.
No, I mean more like don't be too helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, everywhere I go, then they say, oh, this one nobody do I can do. Actually, I need to remind myself that I have the skills to do it, but I only have 24 hours.
Yes, exactly.
And that is my current practice this year.
Okay.
Where I tell myself, I look at it, sorry, I can do, but I got no more space on my plate to put it.
Correct.
And even if I put it, it's going to be there for 9 months. So you might as well try to find someone else to figure it out, you know?
And it's going to stress you out because there's another thing there that's, I am committed to doing this.
But I don't know which one is more stressful.
Which one?
Sitting down there and listening to the person say 10 times, nobody do it, or I just take and do it. I don't know which is more stressful.
Then you have to weigh it lah.
Yeah. So for me, that is the habit. I realized that most of the time, especially the last few years, is that the more I go around, the more it's like, this one nobody do, this one nobody right, and I bring home and do. Then it really does not help with the whole life balance that I'm trying to achieve.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm learning how to say no.
So similar lah. Try not to do too many things. Maybe it's a midlife thing where you just start to focus more,
But could it also be a midlife thing where, last time when you're young, you cannot do everything. You don't have the skill for it anyway. Like some of these skills is like, I took it up or I learn, I get it as I go along. So now I reached this part where maybe when I'm young, I have 3 skills so I can help people because maximum 3 skills.
Okay.
Now that I reach here, right, I got 30 skills, then voila, the amount of things that I can
that
help
doesn't
is
explain
bigger.
it because that means a lot of people that are our age can do a lot of things. And why are these things still not done?
I also don't know. It's just me lah. I'm talking about my habit.
Okay.
My bad habit is saying yes.
Picking up more skills and then doing stuff.
They also like me, but they are better. They have learned it. They say no. I'm learning to be like them.
But you see, just now we talk about forever learning, right? That's why people don't want to learn already.
Something like that.
The more I know how to do that, I have to do, then better I say don't know how to do.
Correct. So what other patterns do you think that is you want to change in life that's dragging you down?
I don't know about changing at this current point. And it's again this fluctuating thing. I feel like I need to get back into my exercise regime because I can feel the energy draining out of my system.
Okay.
So I wake up and I'm tired. And I know that it's because I have been slacking in my exercise since maybe got at least 4 months already lah. More than that. I mean, yeah, it's not a new thing, but it's something that I need to do again. I think it'll make a lot of difference.
Yeah. So you talk about exercise, I talk about eating.
Okay. You need to eat, is it?
I find that when I'm alone
or
when I'm not working, I almost always eat 1.25 meal. What I mean by 11 o'clock
and she
or
says
12,
I don't eat a lot.
I eat 1 meal. But you see, this has only been this year.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 meal at maybe 11, 12, and then comes to about 8, I feel packaged that I just take a small snack.
Okay, but
which is actually in general no good is because I gotten into this lazy mood to eat. So how I'm really coping it now is I will call my friends. Hey, say Fana.
Oh.
Actually not like I want to eat with you, number one. Not like I need to eat. Like I need to eat lah, but I just trying to return back my 3 meals a day thing.
Okay.
By making meal appointment.
Okay.
So that I'm forced to eat.
But sorry, question. I know quite a few people who have one main meal a day and then the rest is...
theirs is unintentional lah. They have this keto diet lah, whatever diet lah. I'm not on a diet leh.
Okay.
So it messes up with my metabolism and everything else.
Oh.
And I can feel my digestion system suffering from it.
Okay.
Yeah. But yet I'm not driven to let's go 3 meals a day. It's a lazy bug at the moment.
People can be lazy to eat. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get rid of that habit lah.
All right.
Because I think it's not new. It's just not me to have... I'm not the only one who's doing through this. People who work too hard might forget to eat.
True.
Or people who live alone, there's no need
so much of a hassle sometimes.
Or then they cannot find parking, no need So I think it's also the environment. So for me, my coping point is always trying to find friends to makan.
Okay.
I say yam cha, whatever lah, something lah, to put that. So there's 1 or 2 friends that I've been calling near my neighborhood one. Hey, eat lah, I don't eat there, you don't eat lah. Try to encourage each other to have a more regular eating time.
And I suppose that's also good because sitting down and eating is when you kind of take a break from it's a focus time.
Correct. And also eating with your friend helps.
Yeah.
Because you actually take your time off from work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, most of my eating time is take a bowl, sit in front of my computer and eat. So I don't even taste the food. I just working. Yeah. So I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to make eating time purely eating time and not have work lah, social media or something. Like I can sit down, put my phone away, try to just taste the food.
That's good.
That's what I'm trying to fix lah. Okay. So that's 5 midlife checkpoint that we discussed today. If you have any thoughts or anything that you would like to share, just drop us a note, audio note, better. Written also can. But audio note only we can listen lah.
Yeah. Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by 2 Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Cerita Suito and Gina Yap Layung.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.